If you sail long enough, sooner or later you're going to see lightning when you're at sea or even at the dock. And when it happens, a thought tends to creep into the back of every sailor's mind. What happens if that thing hits my mast? Now, if you listen to sailors in the marina long enough, you'll hear two completely opposite theories. The first group says, don't worry about it. Sailboats almost never get struck. The odds are tiny. The second group says, your mast is basically a 50-foot lightning rod and sooner or later, Zeus himself is going to come looking for it. And as it turns out, both of those statements are sort of true. Lightning strikes on boats are rare enough that most sailors will never experience one, but they're common enough that every insurance company, every surveyor, and every serious cruising sailor has seen the aftermath of these things. And when lightning does hit a sailboat, it's not subtle. We're talking about something in the neighborhood of 20,000 to 50,000 amps of current. That's not a typo. That's roughly the electrical equivalent of dropping a small power plant on top of your mast for about 1/1,000,000th of a second. So what actually happens when lightning hits a sailboat? Well, the short answer is that lightning is simply trying to get to the ground, or in the case of your boat, to water. Your mast is tall, it's usually conductive, and it's sticking up into a thunderstorm like the world's most expensive antenna. So if lightning decides to pay you a visit, the current typically attaches to the top of the mast and then tries to find the fastest possible route to get to the sea. If your boat has a good path for that electricity, the energy travels down the mast through a grounding system into the keel or a grounding plate and then disperses into the water. In a perfect world, that entire process happens so quickly that the boat barely notices. But boats are not perfect worlds, are they? If lightning encounters resistance on its way down the mast, things start to get interesting. And by interesting, I mean expensive. Electricity hates resistance. When it hits something that slows it down, it starts looking for another route. And this is where lightning does this sort of thing that makes insurance adjusters sigh deeply and reach for another cup of coffee. Instead of following the intended grounding path, the current may jump sideways. That's called a side flash. And side flashes are how lightning ends up traveling through things like wiring harnesses and engine blocks, fuel tanks, metal rails, electronic networks, and occasionally straight through the fiberglass hull itself. In fact, one of the most dramatic lightning stories I've heard involved a sailboat sitting peacefully in a marina when a storm rolled through. Lightning struck the mast, and instead of traveling cleanly to the keel, it found a bit of resistance in the grounding path. The energy jumped sideways, blew a hole through the hull laminate near the keel bolts, and the boat quietly sank right there at the dock. No explosion, no Hollywood fireball. Just a small hole below the waterline and a very surprised owner the next morning to discover that his boat was sitting on the bottom. Now that's the worst case scenario, of course. The good news is that catastrophic hull damage is actually relatively rare. What happens far more often is that lightning turns your boat's electronics into very expensive modern art. Chart plotters and autopilots, VHF radios, AIS systems, wind instruments, and network hubs. Modern sailboats are essentially floating computer networks, and lightning is extremely good at destroying delicate electronics. Even a nearby strike on your neighbor's boat can induce thousands of volts into the wiring system on yours. That energy travels through NEMA networks, antenna cables, and power systems like a wrecking ball. It's not uncommon for a lightning strike to leave a boat structurally intact, but wipe out every electronic device on board. One insurance company report looked at years of lightning claims and found that most strikes didn't destroy the boat. They simply destroyed everything that had a circuit board, which on modern boats is almost everything. But occasionally lightning decides to get creative. Another real-world example involved a cruising sailboat struck offshore during a squall. The current traveled down the mast as expected, but instead of exiting cleanly through the keel, it arced through the steering system. The rudder post exploded apart like a small grenade had gone off inside it. The crew was fine, the boat stayed afloat, but steering suddenly became a very philosophical discussion. And then there are the weird cases. There was a boat struck at anchor where the current traveled down the rig, jumped into the engine wiring harness, and melted half the insulation off the engine controls. The engine would still run, but the throttle cable was fused in place, which is not ideal when you're approaching a dock. So here's the important part. You can't prevent lightning from hitting your boat, but you can dramatically reduce the chances of it causing catastrophic damage. The entire strategy comes down to one simple idea. Give lightning a better path than using the rest of your boat. Think of it like building a highway for electricity. If you provide a big, straight, low-resistance road from the top of the mast down to the water, lightning will usually take that road. If that highway doesn't exist, the electricity starts wandering around the boat looking for another exit, and that's when fiberglass starts exploding. The best protection systems focus on creating a direct electrical connection between the mast and the water. On many boats, this means connecting the mast base to the keel bolts using heavy copper conductors or copper grounding straps. Lead keels are actually excellent grounding electrodes, but they present a large metal surface area to the sea, which makes that possible. Some boats use dedicated grounding plates instead that are mounted on the hull below the waterline. The key point is that the path needs to be large, straight, and of low resistance. Lightning doesn't like taking tight turns. Sharp bends in conductors can increase resistance and increase the chance of side flashes. The other important concept is bonding. A sailboat has a lot of metal parts scattered throughout the structure. Chain plates, stanchions, pulpits, rudder hardware, engine blocks, fuel tanks. These parts are electrically isolated from one another. Lightning can jump between them as it tries to get to the water, but bonding systems that connect those components together so they remain at the same electrical potential during a strike can help. That reduces the chance of lightning arcing between those devices and blowing holes through surrounding structure. But here's a detail that surprises many boat owners. Not all bonding systems are designed for lightning itself. A lot of bonding systems are built primarily for corrosion control, and the wires involved may be too small to carry the current from the lightning, so they won't help. Lightning protection systems typically use much heavier conductors. Now, even with a well-designed grounding system, your electronics may still take a beating. That's because lightning doesn't just travel through wires. It also creates massive electromagnetic fields that induce voltage in nearby circuits. So when storms are approaching, it's not a bad idea to disconnect sensitive electronics, especially antenna cables and shore power connections. And if lightning is actively striking nearby, one bit of practical advice from seasoned sailors is this. Stay away from the rigging. Don't lean on the mast, don't grab the shrouds, don't rest your arm on the lifelines while touching the pedestal. Lightning injuries often occur because someone becomes the convenient bridge between two pieces of metal at different voltages. In other words, don't be a grounding wire. Now, despite all this discussion of destruction and exploding rudders, the majority of lightning strikes on sailboats do not sink the boat. They are expensive, they're frustrating, and they can ruin your electronics budget for the next 3 years. But most boats survive. The key takeaway is that lightning protection is not about guaranteeing safety, it's about improving your odds. And the odds improve dramatically when the boat gives lightning a clean, deliberate path into the water. While you're here learning, did you see this article that Doug wrote? Inside Sail America's plan to grow the sport and the industry. New sailboat sales have been in slow decline in the US for more than a decade, but Sail America's president is optimistic that used boats, small boats, and services can help to grow and sustain a healthy industry. A great read if you have a few minutes. I'll leave a link in the description for you. If you like sailboat videos, don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. It really helps us out, but also it lets YouTube know that you like videos like this, so it'll show you more of them. How cool is that? And don't forget to hit subscribe so I can see you again next time.